haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it.
Spoil it in your face.
That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your fault. Woo-hoo. Woo-hoo.
Hey, everybody. With great power comes great responsibility, unless you get some black goo on you and then you become a murdering psychopath. This is Eddie Collins.
Guys, this is Justin Brown.
And we are Media Popcorn, spoiling movies, of course. But we're not spoiling this movie because it came out in 2007. Somehow we never reviewed this Spider-Man, which is, I mean, we're gonna revisit the Andrew Garfield ones, and like, yes, I think they're a mess for sure, but they were not as disastrous as Spider-Man 3, 2007. I mean, Justin, you know, in a future review, you and I are going to talk about our recent experience seeing a movie together, right? This is one of the first movies I remember having my head in my hands during the movie. Like I saw this opening night. I remember I saw like a 10 p.m. screening, so we didn't get out to after midnight, right? Because this movie's hella long. And I remember being like, what the fuck just happened? Like, the friends I was with, they were like, I can't believe that just happened. I can't believe what we just watched.
Yeah. This is there are problems with this. Let's just to say the least.
Did you see this opening weekend? Do you remember? Like, because this is like the biggest thing in the world when it first was coming out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because it's like, oh, Venom's gonna be in this movie, so everybody was hyped for this, and then we all saw it, and we were just like, oh no.
I initially thought the Topher Grace casting as Eddie Brock was inspired because I was like, okay, you're going for a bizarro Tobey Maguire look.
Yeah.
Okay, I can kind of fuck with that. Even though they put him in weird blonde hair, I was like, all right, you know, if he left that 70s show for this, it must be a big deal, right? And it sounded like not only did we hate Topher, not only did we hate Topher Grace in this, but Topher Grace hated being in this because he said that suit and those teeth were like ridiculously uncomfortable, which made no sense that he would have fucked up teeth because Peter Parker didn't change.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
All right, you know what? I got to say this though. I feel like under no circumstances would I ever say that this was necessarily a good movie, because it's not. It's not. But at the same time, I do feel like this is two movies. This is two very separate, distinct films. The first half of the film is one thing, and the moment Venom shows up, it spins into this other thing. And I think that's the moment that the symbiote is introduced. And I'm not talking about it just
after it comes back from the motorbike, because it's introduced pretty early on, but it doesn't come back for at least a few days. Like, that was so weird. It should have latched onto something else by that point.
Well, no, because it had to latch on to him due to his anger. And you know, like,
it's in New York City. It can find an angry motherfucker around any corner.
Exactly. No,
like,
but it was but it was only in his apartment. It was hanging out in his apartment. It got on his motorbike and followed him upstairs. And was just like, I'm just laying in wait for Spider-Man.
That's so stupid, dude.
All right. So that being said, I thought at first when I was watching this, I was just like, I just remember this being a lot worse than this. Like, I didn't think the first half was really all that terrible until but once the symbiote came on, and then it just went completely off the rails. Like, I feel like it got progressively worse as the movie went along.
Absolutely. It gets worse and worse. But like, even from the beginning, I remember when they were like, you know, during the opening credits recapping the whole fucking series. And I was like, okay, we're at a 2.5 hour long movie. Like, you don't need to do this. Like I said, this is the biggest thing in the world at the time, because I remember like the Venom teasers. Everyone, like you said, everyone was into it. Everyone was like, oh, fuck yeah. So they didn't need to recap the series. So I was just like, oh no. And then we get to, I knew we were in trouble. The first Peter Parker like montage where he's like, things are going pretty well. I'm top of my class. Niggas are, Justin, niggas are spitting spitballs at this dude. Where's the Spidey sense? I do not know. And then in class, you know exactly what I'm talking about. In class, a nigga's like flashing a mirror to like blind him. I'm like, what is this, 1950? Who's doing this shit anymore? Like, the whole movie, I don't know what Sam Raimi and his brother and Alvin Sargent, who wrote this movie, were like up to. didn't it feel like this almost was written like as if it took place in like the 1950s, circa like Batman the animated series at times?
Brandon, while watching this, like, especially that the college scenes, I was just like, is this college or high school? Because
Okay, fair.
I don't know any of that stuff that was going on with him happening in college.
I
I
literally was in
never saw it.
college. I literally was in college when this movie came out. Niggas never did any of that stuff. I don't care
Yeah,
how nerdy or how annoying you are. First of all, in a lecture hall like that, it's very hard to be like picked on because
yeah.
everyone's just trying to survive. Like no one's trying to like
Also, at
even
the
if like you
same
know the
time,
kid that knows everything, like you're gonna try to be friends with them. You're not gonna tease them because you want to pass
yes,
the class.
like Gwen Stacy apparently was doing in this film.
This movie made Bryce Dallas Howard look crazy. Now, everyone's blonde hair was nuts because Bryce Dallas Howard is a baddie, and she looked fucking crazy as Gwen Stacy.
Hmm.
They gave her way too much makeup. She ain't that pale. Like
It's
she's a
funny.
white woman, but goddamn, her
I
hair looking like
I
Snow
did
White.
not realize that was her at first. I mean, like, yes, I know who that redhead white woman is, but the blonde hair threw me off, and just like, and also because this movie came out in 2007, I just didn't connect those dots. But yeah, she looks great. Well, no, she looks decent in this film, but she does. But the hair was definitely a choice. Like
Yeah.
Gwen Stacy, they didn't have to just go. It's like she has to be a blonde. She has to be it's like you didn't have to do that to this woman. It was okay.
Well, I mean, because Gwen Stacy's notoriously a blonde, right? So they had to like do that. It just everything felt forced in this movie. I mean, like learning later on that Sam Raimi was forced to include Venom is so blatantly obvious because he's so shoehorned in. And even like
Yep.
the whole Eddie Brock like praying at the church, I want you to kill Peter Parker, sir. Like, what? That's not Tati like watched this with me last night. She's like, that's not how religion works. I was like, I don't know what's going on. Cause I hate it. First of all, obviously Sam Raimi fucked up as a director and co-writer of this, right? And he
Yeah.
knows he did. Like he talked about in an interview since this movie came out. But Tobey Maguire is atrocious in this.
Oh, god
His,
awful.
his Peter Parker emphasizes the whole theory I had since like the first one that we've talked about on this podcast, where he gives drug addict behavior, and this one especially.
Oh yeah.
Like the way he's,
Oh
especially when he
yeah.
gets the black suit on, he's fucking nuts.
Nigga, when he was fucking doing like Saturday Night Fever out in front of a fucking store and just what were all the hip thrusts? Why so much hip thrusts? What was going on with that? It's like,
Clapping,
oh,
dancing and shit. I'm like, what? It's so bad they had to apologize for it in Spider-Verse. They were like, we have our bad on that.
like what was going on?
And then the emo hair, when Tobey Maguire's clearly thinning too, that was terrible. He's like, I'm a bad boy now. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're actually cornier. Somehow
Yeah.
you're cornier now. Like,
You
he went
fucking
into a
Chris
discount
Angel
store.
looking motherfucker.
Yeah, he went to a discount store and got a suit, trying to look all fly. I'm like, bro, you bought that for $10.99. Those threads are gonna fall apart on the E train.
You bought that from a nigga named Vlad.
He definitely did. That store he went into, definitely there was at least one person named Vlad in there for
Yep.
sure. I mean, and he's also still struggling financially, which is insane because if I'm Spider-Man, I'm gonna be making bank somehow. Like, hopefully not in a criminal way, but I'm gonna be, you know what I mean? I'm gonna figure something out to parlay this into money.
Yes.
He gets the key to the
Yes.
city. Like, he should be on salary at this point because he's
True.
not a vigilante. He's literally like a superhero cop. Like he's basically
he's part of the police force. He's backup for the police.
and in fact, yeah, because the city should be paying him because he's helping resolve dangerous like fucking human error. Like the crane scene. I was like, what kind of killer crane is this? Like it's destroying half of like like high-rise buildings and shit. I'm like, and the guy's just like, oh Johnny, it's gotta lose. I'm like, Johnny gonna lose his job. Like everybody loses their job in this company. That's fucking
The union
crazy.
can't save him from this one.
Yeah, so you got Spider-Man spinning around, catching everybody. The debris still fall on the ground. So that's all kinds of property damage and city damage and shit.
Bro, when when like the debris started falling, like this, the desks and things like that, people on the ground died. Like people on the ground died. You can't tell me that hit nobody on a New York City street. People died. There is absolutely no way in the
People
middle
definitely
of the
died.
day, let's say it's like any time between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m., somebody died. Am I right? Or
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
It's
also love how the police just show up. Well, first of all, a crane, there's a crane, going haywire. The police just show up and then they're just standing there looking. Why are you here? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you here? And the commissioner is there. And then this blew my fucking mind. Eddie Brock shows up. He's just like, that's Gwen. It's like, nigga, how did you see all the way
well
up?
because he had that zoom camera thing, but then he's right next to Gwen's dad, played by James Cromwell, who, I mean, I don't know how old that nigga was supposed to be when he had Gwen, but goddamn,
Yeah.
that was like an Al Pacino, Robert De Niro situation.
Well, no. Well,
I'm just making a joke. Obviously, it's not that old, but still, it's
well,
just,
no, but at the same time, it's just like, let's say in this film, he's in his 60s and Gwen is in her 20s at this point. Let's say she's like 25, right?
yeah.
Maybe he had shit. In his 40s, or maybe I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I'm
I don't
about
know.
to be. I mean, I'm about to be 40, and we're trying to like actively family plan this year. So we're gonna be old
Mm.
ass parents. You know what I mean? But actually, that works out for me because I've always been an old soul. So I would be an old dad. You know what I mean? Hey, how you doing? Hey, well,
I mean, Brandon, it's gonna uplift my soul to call you old nigga.
I don't. You already do
Mm,
that sometimes.
No, and not actually, not really, not really.
Well,
You
because
call me old nigga.
yeah, I call you like physically you're old, but then like sometimes I've said stuff where you're like, nigga, where are you from? Like, when were you born? Like, because I'd be saying, because I wrote down in this. It's like it happened later on. It was a weird comeback. All right, there's too many. This might be the most notes I've ever taken for a movie, by the way. So we'll
Oh
get to
wow.
the old timey language that reminded me of myself. I mean, we had niggas putting rings on layaway. This is before Affirm and stuff. Okay. I also forgot that Mary Jane sings a lot in this. I don't know why Kirsten Dunst
Yeah.
was like, cool, I'll sing in this. It was god awful. All the singing and dancing in this movie was out of control. I don't know what Sam Raimi was going for. This is his Batman and Robin.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This is
Yeah.
really like this is especially when the villains team up. I always hate when villains team up and it doesn't make like it's not organic. It doesn't make any sense. Like Venom
Yeah.
even talking doesn't really make sense. Like, how was he such a different iteration than what happened with Peter Parker? They never explained that.
Yeah. Because like Peter had some form of control over it. Like Brock was just well, I guess, but they're trying to tell us that Brock is evil, but he's evil just because capitalism. He's just doing capitalism. You know what I'm saying? He's a dickhead, but I don't necessarily think that he's evil. What is he willing to lie and cheat his way to the top? Yes, but is that doesn't necessarily make him a perfect host for the symbiote.
Well, they imply that he's also like creepy. You know, he says like I'm like tells James Cromwell I'm dating your daughter, and then she's like later on we find out she's like we had coffee one time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like going around being like, I really like this girl, and I think she's the one. And it's like, oh, so he's like pre-incel basically. That's why I wrote down my notes. I'm like, so Tobey Maguire is supposed to be like that guy. Now, here's the thing: Tobey Maguire, according to our producer Yuvia's research, and I remember reading this. Not only did he drop out of that, he quit that '70s show to do this, but he also endured like 6 months of training and gained 24 pounds of muscle. Which I'm like, where was that? Because he looked like the scrawny Eric Foreman that we've seen for years before this.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you look at him, and we're in Topher Grayson, um, if you look at him when he was all Topher Grace, I forgot it's not Grayson. Um, if you look at him on that Sanity show, he was really like, he looked like a kid. Like he looked like he was like 16. In this one, he at least looks like a man. But
That's
like,
true.
I could see where like some of that weight went, but he still wasn't that guy. He needed to
He's like,
put
it went
on
all to my
about
dick. Because of the
and apparently
drugs.
Topher was not necessarily, he didn't have a good he didn't have a good rep in Hollywood.
Yeah, man. Because I actually, when I was watching this, I remember like this is going to be this is a big deal for him. You know, he had
Mhm.
quit that 70s show. Like he was going to be this big villain and stuff like that. And I don't know. I wonder if like while he's on set, he knows this might be a shit show. You know what I mean? Like the way that like Tim Dillon's talked about in his podcast when he was making the Joker 2, he was like, "Oh, this is going to be god awful." Like he's filming these scenes. It's like this is going to be really bad. I think.
Yeah, you know when you're doing it.
Yeah, he had to.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
even just
you know when you're doing it.
yeah, because there's no way that people like if we're asking these questions, right? And these people are on set for like weeks filming this stuff, right? There's no way that there wasn't some conversation as people were reading the script and Topher's with his management team and blah blah blah, and maybe talking to Toby and shit about the like the characters, even Thomas Hayden Church as Sandman, and no one was like, "Hey, how come your Venom? How come like your whole iteration of Venom is so much different than Peter's?" Like at the very least, Peter should have been talking like with the monster mouth and shit, like you know, his iterate like the Venom should have been consistent.
Yeah.
And so like then Topher should have been like, why the fuck do I have to wear these teeth then? I look fucking nuts.
But here's
And
the
they
other
hurt.
thing, Brandon. Here's the other thing. The fact that I think, well, oh my God, man, there's so much shit to talk about with this. All right, so
We're
right.
dude, we're 15 minutes in and we haven't even talked about the craziest performance of this movie, which is fucking James Franco. We haven't even scratched the surface on that.
Hold on. We need to talk about the fact that Peter, who lives in a space, yeah, he has his own room in this building. It's not an apartment, it's a room. It's like a studio apartment where his bathroom's across the hall, whatever. He doesn't have privacy. He really doesn't have privacy. His landlord be barging in on him all the time, and his his landlord's daughter and things like that.
Yeah.
He is just laying in his room,
His suit,
in his suit on his bed,
Yep.
just laying there,
Yep.
taking a nap, I guess.
Yeah.
Then Venom gets on him, and it takes him. It bonds to him. It binds to him. But I don't know if you realize it binds to the suit. It doesn't bind to Peter. It binds to the suit. So Spider-Man, Peter hasn't been taken over. The suit has been taken over. That doesn't work
though, because he's not wearing the mask when he's sleeping. So if it covers the mask, how does that work?
Yes. But somehow he wakes up, mask on, whole suit on, and then every time that Peter Parker is in the black suit, he's literally wearing the black suit under his clothes. First of all, how does he pee? How does he shit?
I always thought that about Spider-Man. Like, because when Tobey Maguire, even at the end, like with the third act, when he brings out the OG suit and he looks at it and like, you know, got the triumphant Spider-Man theme, I was like, that looks so uncomfortable to get into. You know what I mean? Like, and then if you have bubble guts, or God forbid, like you drink a lot of water to stay hydrated, like you're right, Justin. What do you do? Do you go into a public bathroom? Do you swing back home? Like, what do you do?
Or is he shitting on the top of roofs? Imagine being in a skyscraper and you look over and it's Spider-Man popping a squat on a fucking 50-story building and you're on the 72nd floor.
That's insane.
That's crazy. But it just might be the case, right? It just might be the case.
It's not. Jesus Christ. This
movie, or he got a butt flap. Yeah,
that'd be fucking crazy.
No, but like in all seriousness, like it what they're making it seem like was Venom was attached to the suit. So mind you, when he's in the bell tower and the bell's going off, he's pulling it off and things like that, he literally takes off the suit and he runs out of there naked.
Yes, he does.
So, but that's the thing. If Venom is attached to, maybe that's what they're trying to say is like Venom wasn't on Peter. So again, it's easier for him to get him off. And also he's, fucking Spider-Man. It was attached to the suit. So it didn't have the same effects that it had on Eddie Brock. Which either way, that's sense. Fucking ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
That's it.
Yeah.
I hate this movie so much, dude. Because you know what it is? It follows Spider-Man 2, which is arguably one of the top 10 best superhero movies of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go full like Superman. Was it Superman 3 where Clark Kent goes bad and shit? I think so. The one.
You talking about
Richard
the OG one?
Yeah, the OG Superman. Yeah. I mean, we never got a post Christopher Reeves Superman Beyond 1. You know what I mean?
Yuck.
Okay. Let's talk about James Franco for a little bit. Let's talk about James Franco, who has a consistent film, like sweaty film over his face the whole fucking movie. So are they in the same way he's been taking the Green Goblin serum or whatever fuck?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, because I'm like, when he gets knocked out by Peter, I'm like, he's dead, right? Like,
yeah.
He technically is dead for a few minutes, like at least like 10 minutes, because Peter tries to revive him. Then we smash cut to doctors trying to revive him, and then he gets saved, and then they're like, yeah, your friend's gonna be fine, but he lost all of his memory. Like, I remember in the movie theater being like, lame.
That's convenient.
Lame.
But I will say, I think that scene where he comes after Spider-Man, I thought that was a good scene.
Yeah, it doesn't hold up as much as
the scene was good.
Yeah, I wish it held up better though. You know what I mean?
But again, Brandon, we have to. So, of course, Harry is his friend, his best friend, right? He knows what's going on. Like, he obviously knows. Is like, once he comes on the glider, he's like, oh fuck, he's taking the serum too. So he's going fucking nuts at this point, right?
He is going nuts.
He actively throws a line out. Holds that line, and Harry, and it clotheslines Harry off that glider.
Oh yeah, Harry.
He could have easily taken off fucking Harry's head, considering how fast Harry was going. Then, not only does he let Harry almost get decapitated, but fall to the ground in such a brutal manner, hitting everything, pipes and fucking garbage cans, ground. Did not intervene.
Yeah, no, he didn't save his friend. Well, that was my other note. Before they even get to this confrontation, Justin, when they just see each other at Mary Jane's play, a musical, word of fuck that was, and Harry's like, and Peter's like, Harry, I gotta talk to you, man. I'm like, how have y'all not talked to each other yet? Immediately after the events of Spider-Man 2, you and Harry, and you could even have had Mary Jane mediate, since she knows now his identity, right?
Yeah.
If they're as close as they say they are, they could squash that shit in like a really intense 12-hour probably, meeting or whatever the fuck.
Well, and that's so. And then it's also like, so you're telling me his fucking Harry's Alfred was letting this nigga go crazy all this time, and he just knew. He's just like, Mr. Osborn, I've seen a lot of things here. I clean your father's wounds, and I have to say, it was self-inflicted. It was from his own glider. Indeed, Spider-Man did not kill your father. Just like, nigga, I've been going nuts and trying to kill this nigga. And you just saying shit now?
Like, where were you during the big battle? When we were fighting and shit.
This nigga threw a grenade in my face. I look like goddamn Two-Face. I look like I was fucking Joey Buttafuoco. And you could have just told me this shit now? What are you holding the secret for? My dad's dead. Tell me. You son of a bitch. I've been so mad. That's a reason to throw that nigga out the window.
Yeah, it was bad, dude. It was really, really bad.
And also, listen, man. You know, we try to be kind as try to be as kind as we possibly can. But that older actor was horrible. They needed to get somebody who could speak.
Yeah, he was struggling. Like it seemed like he was really. Why did he get hired? Is that Sam Raimi's grandfather? Like, why was
That's what I was about to say.
According to trivia, the butler was initially written as a manifestation of Harry's conscience to fix a plot hole about Norman's wounds, but the idea was cut. Yeah, when the old dude's just like, when I cleaned your father's wounds, I was like, I don't want to know what you did to my dad's body. I don't need to know. Also, how would he know that it's self-inflicted? Peter Parker could have still killed him with the glider.
Very true.
Spider-Man tried to do the same thing in No Way Home. He tried to kill God with the glider.
Yep.
Yeah, like, what are we talking about?
A nigga's strong enough to do it, to pull it off.
I was just really frustrated.
Also,
sorry.
Hold on. I'm sorry. We got to talk about this. So when Spider-Man goes Spider-Man Black, right?
Spider-Man goes Spider-Man Black. That's crazy.
The Dark Spider-Man.
Yes.
All right. It is wildly known or theorized, but I think it's truth that Peter Parker is constantly holding back because he's a lot stronger than even what he puts out there, even in the comics and things like that. So he has to hold back so he doesn't really, really fucking hurt people. Right? Now he's taken over by the symbiote, right? And this is like basically bringing to light all of his darkest urges and feelings and things like that, right? Especially when he's fighting Harry. Why didn't he fuck that dude up? It should not have been that hard at all. He should have been easy work.
Yeah.
Like, how did that not just turn into the annihilation of fucking Harry Osborn?
I mean, eventually he did get annihilated. I mean, well, to be fair, Peter owed him an ass whooping for that ambush shit that he did. I'm just riding on my motorbike and nigga gonna scoop me up. It's like, oh no, this it's like Johnny in a roadhouse. Like, I'm gonna fuck you before you fuck me, bro. This ain't
you knew this was coming, Pete. You knew this was coming.
It was crazy.
I was like, what? That's a wild thing to say. Yeah. Imagine you walking down the street and then somebody just comes up and then you see like me for whatever reason we're feuding, but I just show up, punch you in the face, and I'm just like, you knew this was coming, Brandon. Let's go. Let's go.
I mean, to be fair, if that had happened, I mean, Peter shouldn't be too surprised, but at the same time, if this is your best friend, y'all could have squashed this so long ago. You know what I mean? It just made no. It's one thing if Harry like doesn't listen at all, like doesn't listen to reason, and won't admit that his dad was a bad guy, because yes, in Spider-Man 1, he's like devoted, like he wants his dad's affection and like acceptance and love, which he's not going to get, right? Yeah. And 2, he's just like trying to make his own name, and then he fails spectacularly. So I don't understand the whole like I'm obsessed with following my dad's legacy. Like, this is handled so much better in different iterations of this character in the comics that I don't understand how you fumbled the bag when you have so much content you could pull from to make this natural transition make sense.
Well, I also think that like it's not like he doesn't know who the Green Goblin was and what he was doing.
Mm-hmm. Especially by the end of the second one, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like everyone knew that the Green Goblin was evil and on bullshit. And if Spider-Man technically had to take the Green Goblin out, he'd be like, Harry should be more on the thing of just like, oh my God, you killed my dad. But like, yeah, my dad was really like, he tried to kill the girl that we both love.
Mm-hmm.
He did this, he did that. There's so many opportunities. Well, I mean, he technically almost killed Harry too.
Mm-hmm. At that event,
It was
yeah,
like,
like where like Mary Jane had the Asian dress for some reason,
yeah, you know,
and the chopsticks in her hair for some.
yeah,
that was a weird moment.
yeah. Yeah, and they had all of the fucking hot air balloons around.
Yeah.
like I don't know what that shit was. But
And
like,
Macy Gray was performing.
was that supposed to be the Macy's Day parade?
I don't know. I
I
mean,
think it was supposed to be the
that would make
parade.
sense though. Macy Gray, Macy Day. You know, it all works out.
Macy Day?
Macy, because you were saying that the Macy's parade, right?
Yeah, it's Thanksgiving Day
So
parade.
I was just saying Macy Day. I was trying to have fun. You know,
Yeah,
you
that
won't let me
didn't
be
work.
great. You'll never let me be great.
I will not yes and that. I will
just-
not. I refuse.
Well, apparently, a lot of people should have refused things on this movie. Why are the Aunt May scenes the best acted scenes in this whole series? Those are always the
because
best.
it's the most grounded.
Yeah, it really is.
And Tobey Maguire is really not all that great.
No, he's not. It's. I mean, but that sucks though, because he's number one on the call sheet, and he's bad. So everyone else is terrible. Like everyone else is even worse because he's so bad.
So
Like his cry faces are really atrocious. I'm sorry, like I don't know, like you can't control
god-awful.
how you cry, but and he cries so much in this. He's like fucking James Vanderbeek, R.I.P. in Dawson's Creek. You know the notorious like, it's like that 7 times in this movie. It's so bad.
Damn, Brandon.
I'm sorry.
Taking shots at the dead.
You know, because I remember people laughing, dude. I remember people laughing when Harry sacrifices himself to save Peter and he died. First of all, Peter and Sandman, while Harry's over here bleeding out, talk for like 5 minutes before Sandman just like, all right, man, you know, I got to say done, man. I didn't mean to kill everybody. Bye. It just fades away into the sun. And then that's when Peter finally goes to his best friend. And then his cry face, people started laughing. It was bad. It's so poorly acted. It's just, whoo, doggy.
And guys, some people may be listening to this and thinking it's like, man, they're really going in on Tobey Maguire. It's like that's not
building up
that's not
towards
that feels. But Tobey Maguire is also known to be one of the biggest notorious assholes of fucking Hollywood.
Yeah,
He's
I mean, I
known to be
can't.
fucking horrible.
Yeah, I mean,
he's
I
known to
haven't
be
heard
horrible.
I haven't heard great stories about him, but like, yeah, this. I mean, look. Plus size, he probably made so much money because this made almost $1 billion. It made $895.9 million. It's the highest
This is
grossing
just
the Sam
the
Raimi.
third one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but this is the highest grossing the Sam Raimi movies, right? So
Yeah.
once they started improving on these movies, which didn't happen until MCU finally got a hold of them, man, alive.
So Brandon, so the thing that upsets me about this film,
Mhm.
and I guess about this series, is like when Spider-Man gets brought up, obviously we have 3 camps. We have Toby, we have Andrew, and then we have
Tom Holland.
oh my God, Tom Holland,
Yep.
right? People like Tobey Maguire is my Spider-Man.
Mhm.
But if you look at his performances in all 3 movies, can you honestly say that you want this guy to be your Spider-Man?
Oh no, not all the options we have now. Fuck no, especially for Peter Parker. No. No, it's there's too much. There's too much opportunity and like great creatives that would love to take a crack at this character now. Where Tobey Maguire is basically like the Christopher Reeves of this character. Like like he'll be remembered as like the first. Did some solid performances. Things got a little weird in the latter movie. Movie. I think No Way Home was a good redemption. Not that his iteration of Peter Parker had to be redeemed as much as Andrew Garfield's did, but I think that he was just the right amount of like Peter Parker, Toby, iteration in No Way Home where it worked for me. But we do not like people were like, oh, we need to get a Sam Raimi Spider-Man 4 or continue the Tobey Maguire. No, we do not. We do not.
Yeah.
We do not need more Tobey Maguire because also he hasn't acted consistently in a long time, and it's not like he was that great of an actor in the first place. So,
Yes. See, but that's the
good.
thing. I
We're
think
good.
I think that Tobey Maguire is like, yeah, his Spider-Man movies are classic because when they came out, such and such, and and the second one was so good. It was so good, but he is not a good Peter Parker, he is not a good Spider-Man himself. You know what I'm saying? So that's why when people, are the Toby stands and they're really hard, like, nah, Toby's my Spider-Man. That's my Peter Parker, yada, yada, yada. Like, I don't like
Yeah,
Andrew. I don't like this person. It's just like, I don't get it. Now,
that's crazy.
so,
That's
what,
crazy to say you don't like the Andrew Garfield Peter. I mean, I get it. He was way like hotter than Tobey Maguire
yes,
and stuff, but
way
like,
too hot.
but he is he's way too hot. But I always find Andrew Garfield like effortlessly charming. I think he's like
Yes.
incredibly charming. Um, and so like that's kind of a wild thing to say. Like, but
Yeah,
that's just me. I don't know why. I
bro. Because
say
even like Toby Maguire couldn't pull off the snarky Spider-Man comments
yeah.
in the suit. Like none of that came off well. Like Andrew Garfield, he nailed that.
Yes.
Like that's the thing is I felt like I always gave like, all right, Toby Maguire, he was a better personification of who Peter Parker was.
Mm.
Andrew Garfield was a better Peter Parker slash Spider-Man overall package. But as pure Peter Parker, I didn't think he fit the bill because he was a little too good looking. And I don't see, cases where these women would not be falling for him.
That's why for pure Peter Parker, that's why I think Tom Holland in Homecoming, is specifically Homecoming, I think is the
Yeah.
best because he,
Yeah.
and that's what I love about like what they did with that character. It's not the best spot. Like it sucks because all three of them have their own attributes and stuff. I'm definitely like you, where like Tobey Maguire is definitely third out of the top three, like these three
Mhm.
iterations. But like Homecoming was so great because he's in high school. He's like an awkward kid. He's trying to figure this out. He trying to date this hot black girl. Like, it's just like he's learning his powers. Like I still think about the scene when he's in Long Island and he's running and he tries to shoot his webs, but there's nothing for them to latch on to. So he just
Yeah.
like, he just gotta keep running. He's like, damn.
So like that and so all right. I don't know if you heard like the rumors that like with the new movies coming up, there's actually likely gonna start in like Doom coming.
Spoiler alert, just in case.
Yeah.
Because I know
Yes.
what you're going to
Spoilers.
say. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoilers. This is
Just in
spoilers.
case.
But
It's
again,
not confirmed.
this is unconfirmed stuff. So anything I'm saying, this could 1,000% be wrong. So don't be like, oh, it didn't happen. Just you lie. I ain't a lie. I told you this ain't shit.
Why
This
would
shit
you
ain't
think
real. If you
someone
see
talk
those
to you like that? You lie.
Nigga, I don't know. You a lie.
What
But
do you think?
there is a big thing that Doom is supposed it's supposed to start in Tobey Maguire's universe. And then like Battle World and all that kind of stuff. It's gonna start with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, whether it's just like his universe gets wiped out,
Mhm.
or like that Spider-Man is actually going to be the Spider-Man moving along in the story, and then Peter Parker comes in at some point. Our Tom Holland's Peter Parker comes in at some point, and possibly Andrew Garfield. Who knows? There's a whole lot of things up in the air. But yeah, it's heavily rumored that Tobey Maguire is going to play a pivotal role in the next Avengers film.
And I've heard that too. I've heard like Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds are secretly in, Doomsday and Secret Wars and stuff. And I'm all for that. My only issue is these are people that have not like everyone's like trusting the Russos, trusting Feige and stuff. There is a world for me where Doomsday could work really well as like a huge a hard reset for the comic book movie genre, right? Especially when
Yeah.
it comes to Marvel properties. Like you bring in basically everybody and say, okay, I know y'all love Blade, I know y'all love the X-Men, I know y'all love Fantastic Four or some parts of it, or like what have you, X-Men and Hugh
Yeah.
Jackman. They're all coming together and then we're gonna blow it all up and just restart with everything, right? How that
Yeah,
work?
well, we have access to all of this stuff now.
How will
in
that
the
work?
shared
I have no idea.
universe.
But there's a way to put like a beautiful bow on everything that we've seen before Doom's, Secret Wars and stuff, and like give people a sense of closure. The whole thing with Tobey Maguire is because we know his rep and because we know all the other egos on set, there's no way. And I already heard rumors about like a huge fight that happened between two cast members on the set of Doomsday. There's no
Mm.
way that it wasn't the I didn't hear that Infinity War and Endgame were like the most positive, fun working environments, right? I'm sure there's really long days and stuff, but you didn't hear about people fighting. You didn't hear about egos clashing. Like everyone came together because I think they realized it was really special what they were pulling off being
Yeah.
able to bring all these stories together in a way that made sense for everybody and gave everyone their own shining moments. I'm not, I don't know if we're going to get any of that for Doomsday. And
Yeah.
that's what, and I feel like someone like Tobey Maguire having a big role would be a dick. I
Yeah.
think he would not be fun to include in like, but that's just me. That's just me. I don't know. But I'm cautiously
Honestly,
optimistic about Doomsday.
honestly, I was hoping that if any Spider-Man was going to be pushed forward outside of Tom Holland, obviously because he's the Spider-Man, would it be Andrew Garfield? I
Mm.
think that he's the only he has the only film Spider-Man filmography that did not get closure. You know what I'm saying? So giving him some form of closure and like seeing like, especially after No Way Home,
Well, I think that was his
going to him.
closure.
Yeah, so here's the thing, but
I think that's why.
he said, he went
Sorry.
to a point where he was really angry and da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I would actually like to see more of his world and like who he is in that world and like the things that went on, after Gwen Stacy passed. Also, I don't I don't know. I don't know because like, you also got to look at the time aspect, within the MCU because while yes, this universe this could be going on, but like No Way Home could have happened like directly after like 6 months after Gwen Stacy died in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. You know what I'm saying? And then, Doomsday or Secret Wars happens like what
Yeah, we don't know the timelines for a lot of stuff.
like another 6 months after that because the timelines with different universes,
I hear you. Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily mean they have to be parallel. So it's like it's just very interesting. I would have rather Andrew Garfield is just like Tobey Maguire. I don't know why, and to your point, he hasn't really been acting consistently in quite a long time. Go with the guy who is far more reliable and also didn't pull some shit where like, hey, I don't want to have to work out and I don't want to be in a suit and things
Yeah.
like that. Cause that's a part of why this movie is a piece of shit.
Well, yeah, that's also like usually when a famous actor like in a comic book role says like I don't want to be in the suit as much anymore or like have to put this stuff. That's always a bad sign for the franchise. Like
Yeah.
remember when Jennifer Lawrence is like I don't want to be Blue Mystique as much anymore,
Yeah.
and it's just like, well, now what are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
you're a Mystique. You have to look like Mystique. This is crazy.
Bitch, you blew in this.
Yeah. It's like, hey, wear it proudly, girl. Come on now. But I mean, I get it. The makeup, like the time for makeup, it makes you miserable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I know Colin Farrell is like, I would be okay if I didn't have to dress up like the Penguin again. Like, he loves the role, but he's like, it's 9 hours.
Yeah.
I think
It's
you're
a
on
lot.
set for 10 plus hours or however long they can
Yeah.
get. It's crazy. And it's so much
Yeah.
pressure too because it's less time for you to be able to make mistakes or improvise. You have to be on point because otherwise you're just losing time.
Yeah.
You know?
And which is costing studios money. It becomes a fucking shit
Speaking
show.
of losing time, let's talk about Spider-Man 3 a few more minutes before we pull up some letterbox reviews. Okay, we got to talk about Sandman for a second because out of all like the weird, confusing time period shit, he was the most confusing because everything about his storyline felt very like 1920s. Like even from the way he dressed, like with the tucked in shirt and stuff, and then like his old school like motive, like my daughter's sick, and so I gotta make money to help her treatment? Question mark.
Yeah.
Also,
did the little chick have cancer? Like,
well,
what is
they didn't
Just
explain,
tell
but
us.
also if he's been in jail since the first Spider-Man because he, we find out later that he actually was the one that shot Uncle Ben. But if he's been in jail since that time,
Unnecessary.
it was completely ridiculous. How old is that little girl supposed to be? Because I'm like, if it's just been 5, if she's supposed to be 5 or 6, bro, Clint, that may not be your kid. Like, I don't know what's going on here.
Oh, Brandon, you didn't catch the memo.
What?
You didn't realize that Aunt May gave us a timeline between this movie and the first movie?
No.
You must have missed that. Nigga, it's only been 2 years.
No, it's been 2 years since the second one.
No. It's
According
been
to
2
Wikipedia,
years.
it's been 2 years since the second one.
I think it's been 2 years since Uncle Ben died.
That's insane. That's insane. I mean, then New York should be freaking out way more about a fucking sand cloud flying around. People do not
for
react
sure.
accordingly to these villains. They're just kind of like, oh fuck, Central Park got really weird now. Like what? No, there's a nigga dressed with like fangs and a black ooze suit swinging around, and then you got sand nigga. Like, what are we doing, New York City? The mayor should be fired. Like, there'd be protests in the streets. We have monsters in New York City.
Brandon, I am almost certain that they basically retcon like this is only 2 years after.
That's crazy.
That's like when they were in the office. I mean, that's what they said. Obviously, they fucked up, but like, yeah, that's what she said. I was just like, wait a second, what?
So you were talking about Aunt May a few minutes ago. Because I have so many notes. I'm obviously not gonna get to half of them because we have so little time. Okay, there's 2 scenes I have to talk to you about. That I have to make sure we get on record that I address these concerns to you. So again, going back to my theory about Aunt May, if she doesn't know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, because we never get that full reveal. I thought we did for some reason, but we never get a full reveal that she knows that he's Spider-Man, right? So with that being said, this is continuing to be Aunt May counseling her nephew, who's probably a drug addict, and things escalate to the point where she comes over to that apartment. She's like, Mary Jane's worried about you ever since Peter gets crazy because he's like, this man killed my uncle. And then Peter's like, that Clint Marco guy who killed Uncle Ben. Yeah, he was murdered last night by Spider-Man. And she's like, what? And he was like, yeah, I thought you'd be happy with this. Like, what? Like, dude, you just confessed to her murder. It was insane.
Spider-Man did it.
I mean, it's just like,
don't you like that, Aunt May? We're happy, right?
I forgot that it happened. I forgot about that scene. So I was like, wait, he just confessed to murder as Spider-Man? Like, what are you doing?
That's what he did.
He's like, I thought you would be. Oh, I say Clint Marco instead of Flint Marco, by the way. That's my bad.
Yeah, but same bullshit.
But
it's all trash.
I mean, he just looks at Aunt May, like Tobey Maguire looks at her like, bitch, why are you so concerned? Like, you should be happy. I'm your savior.
Yes, he deserved to die, and I hope he rots in hell.
Oh God, I hated it so much.
Oh God. Yeah. Yo, when they were having that conversation, I was like, yo, Peter, you are wilding out right now. You are wilding out right now.
Yeah. I mean,
everyone was crazy.
Everyone was crazy in this movie. I mean, like even Topher Grace as Venom, his vendetta against Peter Parker is like, nigga, you got caught. Like, take the L. Instead, he's like beating the shit out of Peter Parker. He's like, you remember what you did to me? Humiliation. It's like, dude, yeah, it was 2 days ago. Like, of course I remember. Like, that's a stupid question.
Yeah. It's just like, bro, like, that's fraud. You can't do that.
Yeah.
It's like, I just told on you. It's like okay. What did you expect? Would you tell on me if I did that shit? Yes. Like,
Justin.
All right. Also, let me just say, Rosemary Harris, the actress that plays Aunt May, she's still alive.
Oh, wow.
She's 98 years old. She's still alive.
For her.
So I think, honestly, if they do bring Peter back, I mean, Tobey Maguire back, they should give her a check as well. Give her at least one scene. Because Mary Jane, all of that, yes, that's important and everything. But Peter having to see Aunt May actually die in an incursion or something like that, I think that's something I would be that's worth showing on screen.
That'd be intense as fuck.
Exactly. Because you remember, No Way Home when Tom Holland's Aunt May died and how he lost his shit.
Yeah,
I think Tobey Maguire's character needs that.
Okay, I mean, or you like do it with Kirsten Dunst, you bring her back just to take her out, but I'm sure she would be okay with that. By the way, to your point that you said when we first started reviewing these movies, she does look better older. Like, this is the best she's looked in the whole series.
Recently,
like, she looks great. She looks great in this movie. She's terrible in the movie, but she looks great. Because that whole fucking do the twist dance scene where her and James Franco making omelets with fucking you like peppers. Like I was just like, what is going on? This is so how they had to know this is going to be bad. They had to know what they were filming that scene. Okay, Justin, because we got to get to some letterbox reviews, but I have to talk about the climactic battle before Harry gets off his high horse and finally was like, you know what, my best friend ain't a bad guy, and I look like Scarface, so what do I have to lose at this point? Um, Spider-Man flies to this trap that's set by Venom and Sandman, where Mary Jane, of all
Swims
people,
too.
stuck in a fucking taxi cab, where she could have died unprovoked like several times, like just from natural elements that were like,
Occurrences. Yeah.
yeah. Like, so Venom and Sandman did not think that through because she probably could have been dead by the time Spider-Man finally arrives.
Yeah.
Anyways, Spider-Man arrives in front of an American flag, which just caused me to eye roll. And then he proceeds to get the dog shit beat out of him by Sandman and Venom to the point where Sandman's a monster with a hammer hand and it's just literally pounding onto Spider-Man. And everyone's just watching. There's children below watching this happen. They're talking on the news like, it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch this. And it's like, well, what? Like, what are we talking about? It's hard to watch.
Nigga, can we also talk about the fact is the anchor on the news, he was horrible. Also, this is New York City.
Yeah.
Why does the beat reporter have a fucking English accent? Like, what is going on here?
I don't know. It was so weird. It was like old, ugly white dudes and then like hot chicks. Like it was just even at the science lab where they were randomly doing like molecular testing in the middle of the fucking night. They're like, oh, it must just be a bird. Won't that still impact your testing? Like, what are we talking?
Like, nigga, what are you talking about? It'll fly out once we start. No, it won't, or it'll die.
Again,
so
sorry.
I just gotta throw this in there. When I was in Detroit, watch the news in the morning and things like that for when I was working out there, I gotta say, y'all have some of the most grisly looking motherfuckers on the news. Yo, I was watching this, I was like, oh, who are these motherfuckers? It looks like the B Squad from New York. But it's like it's interesting to see what the news looks like to this very day in comparison to like the bigger cities, because they get like the prettier people, while in other areas it's just like, oh, this is a person who's good at fucking speaking, so they're on the news. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And yeah, bro, it's a stark difference. It's a stark difference. I was like, what is happening right now?
I asked that so many times while watching this movie. Like, I mean, like, even when Spider-Man becomes, the dark version, which, I have a problem with that. Like, he goes black and he's a bad guy. But then he, at one point, like some New Yorkers are talking about Spider-Man, and one guy's like, I have a 9-year-old daughter. Who's she supposed to look up to now? And Tati was like, you? Like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? Be like, why is she looking up to a nigga who's walking around? He's walking around the city giving finger guns to everybody, like pow 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 pow.
Spider-Man's out here hip thrusting. Yeah. I can't have him out there. My daughter's role model.
Also, Peter Parker is such a dick. He learns that Mary Jane got fired from her musical, and now she's singing in a fucking like restaurant, right? Like some jazz restaurant that looks like a terrible set from The Mask. And he goes there with Gwen Stacy and proceeds to heckle her and take over her performance. Like there's no
he
coming
upstaged her.
Yeah, there's no coming back from that, bro. She's not going to take you at the end. Like, if it's supposed to initially end with Peter Parker leaving the lounge and they don't reconcile, I'm like, that's the truer ending, because as a performer, like, I'm not taking you back after that. I don't care if you Spider-Man or who the fuck you are. And I don't care if I did kiss Harry Osborn. At least the nigga got money.
At the same time, nigga, let's talk about this. Those guys at the club would not allow him back in there.
No.
It's on site for that nigga. Yeah. They got fucking 4 or 5 fucking security guards just for him.
They would not let him back in, for sure.
And he's gonna have to take an ass whooping just to play it up that he's not Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Also, Mary Jane's toxic as fuck in this movie, because she's jealous of Peter as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yes, he fucked up when he kissed Gwen Stacy on that
Yeah, that was
stage.
wild. And the way
And
that
I
they
was just
kissed
like,
in the first
nigga,
movie,
what are you
yeah. Yeah, I
Yo,
was like,
when Paula saw that, she was just like, what the fuck was that? What would the fuck? And like I saw her looking like mad. I'm just like, Paula, you okay? Who hurt you? But like, yeah, he like that's technically the biggest thing. That's the only thing he did wrong. But like, yeah, and that's a huge no-no. But like I was like, nigga, what? And then she finds out that she's in his class. She's his lab partner.
Yeah.
I'm just like, nigga.
Yeah, it was not good. It wasn't good. Oh boy. All right,
All
Justin.
right, let's jump into
read these
letterbox.
letterboxes.
All right. Up first, we have Connor Eats Pants. That's right. That's his name. Just saw this for the first time. How do people hate this movie? What the fuck? Four stars. Connor, you need to eat your fucking shoe because you are fucking crazy for thinking this movie was good.
Okay.
I don't know his shoe. Anyhow, up next we have Dirk H. This film reminds me of that fat dead guy in Seven. You know, the one who gets force fed so much food that his stomach bursts. Yeah, this film is exactly like that. 1 star. Yikes. All right. Now we're going to Griffin. Griffin says, Bad boy PD walking around New York, finger banging everyone in sight is the good stuff. 3 stars.
This is the good stuff?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. That's exactly what he said.
That's wild. Okay.
Up next, Mike says, Peter Parker saved Jazz. 3 stars. And last but not least, we have Roberta. Roberta says, if Fall Out Boy started playing during the emo Peter Parker scenes, I would have given this 5 stars. 4 stars.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Boy.
That's quite some mixed reviews.
Apparently, McGuire did not want to dance, was particularly against a planned breakdancing sequence. So there was more dancing planned. Yeah. Yeah. Justin, break down our ratings.
Needs to be stopped. First of all, stop calling me baby. Guys, you know how we do this. We rate movies, bags of popcorn, small, medium, large, and the XL for the exceptional. If a film doesn't deserve any hot, buttery, delicious popcorn, we throw it into a stale popcorn pile. We pile piles and piles of stale popcorn on top of it. So, Brandon, we watched the 2007 film Spider-Man 3, an epic shit show of epic proportions. Brandon, what say you, my lovely son?
Oh my god, that's mad creepy. This gets a small. This gets a small.
I thought you were about to say large. I was about to smack you.
This gets a small. It's atrocious. It's terribly acted. But there's enough here to make it an entertaining podcast. I knew it was gonna be a fun episode. And it's just so cuckoo bananas. I kind of have to admire it because they try to stuff so much into this movie and none of it works.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious. Like they put so much into this movie, so much time and effort and like just Sandman details and all these things, right? And just none of it works. None of it. I mean, some of it look good. Like the Sandman coming back as a human, even though that made no sense. But it just was insane. It just none of it like felt good. None of it felt earned. None of it felt authentic. Because even the Harry Peter stuff doesn't really make sense because like it could have been resolved in a conversation between best friends.
Yeah.
So
especially the butler just telling Harry.
That's insane. That was insane. So what's your rating?
Yeah, I'm gonna give this a small as well. I mean, like, yes, this movie is fucking nuts. But at the same time, like I said, I think I remembered it actually worse than it actually was. I think that the first act of the film wasn't necessarily terrible. It progressively got worse as the movie went on, which was disheartening. But I think it started off the right way. Well, it started off decent and then it swung into crazy town. By the time we got to the third act, I was just like, what the fuck is this? But I think, it is what it is. What you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? That's a good question.
Mm-mm.
What you gonna do? All right, folks.
Comes for you.
As always, you can follow the show at Medium P Podcast and all social media platforms, mediumpopcorn.com for all your medium popcorn needs. You can follow me at Frodo_Blackens on Instagram and Threads. That's where I be at these days. FrodoBlackens.com for show dates, all that fun stuff. And Justin, if people want to follow you as well, support the show financially, what can they do, my brother?
Well, first of all, you can follow me at J Brown Did It on all the social media platforms. But if you want to follow this show and show us some love, head over to Patreon, patreon.com/medium popcorn. We have $2,
Yeah.
$5, $10, and $15 packages. Our entire backlog lives on Patreon. We have so much extras on there, guys. Patreon is where it's at. So take yourselves over to patreon.com/medium popcorn.
There you go. Pippity boppity, give me the zoppity. All right, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to y'all soon. Peace.
Hip thrust, baby.
Medium popcorn. We are two niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins. That's me. And Justin Brown for your movie needs. Medium popcorn. Woo! You haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it. Spoil it in your face. That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your fault.